Alright folks, so today Garmin is launching the Garmin Enduro, a solar-powered sports watch for ultra-distance athletes touting the best battery life that you can currently get out of a Garmin wearable. But along with the Enduro, they're also officially launching the new UltraRun activity profile, new enhancements to ClimbPro, as well as new Vo2 Max measurements for trail running. Unfortunately, I don't have my review unit of the Enduro because of a shipping delay, but FedEx does tell me that it should be here by the time you watch this video. But don't worry, I've got all the details on the Enduro, as well as the demo of the UltraRun activity profile, as well as the ClimbPro enhancements on a Fenix 6 Sapphire. But make sure to have those notification bells on for the next video on the Enduro, which may very well come out the same day that you watch this video. In the most basic sense, you could think of the Enduro as a Fenix 6X Pro Solar without the Wi-Fi, music, or maps, but there's a little bit more to it than that. Although it does use the same power glass technology as the Pro Solar models with the 10% efficient photovoltaic panel underneath the display and then the 100% efficient ring around the display, with the Enduro, they've managed to get even more battery life than the Fenix 6X Pro Solar, and that's mainly due to the fact that it has a bigger battery. For battery life, and hold on to your seats for this one, the Enduro is supposed to get up to 50 days in smartwatch mode and then up to 70 hours for GPS recording, and that's with heart rate, and then up to 130 days with the battery saver option, and that's without solar charging, by the way. Add in solar charging, then the Enduro is supposed to get up to 65 days in smartwatch mode, up to 80 hours for GPS, and then up to a year in battery saver mode. But then there's all the other modes that you can use, and just to save you some time, here's all the specs. And then for comparison, here's those specs compared to the Fenix 6X Pro Solar. And then for even more comparison, here's the specs compared to an Instinct Solar. And a notable figure in this chart is the max battery mode, which uses UltraTrack, and that gets you up to 200 hours without solar and 300 hours with solar. That's pretty astonishing, so if you thought the battery life on the Instinct Solar was already pretty good, this kind of takes it to a whole new level. And there's going to be two versions of the Enduro, a stainless steel version and then a version with a titanium bezel with a DLC coating. The stainless steel version unofficially weighs about 71 grams and the titanium version weighs about 61 grams. And these are with Garmin's new UltraFit nylon straps, so there's now quite a wide variety of straps to choose from. So in a nutshell, the Enduro is about insane battery life, but along with the Enduro, Garmin's also officially launching the new UltraRun activity profile, new enhancements to ClimbPro, as well as new Vo2 Max measurements that take into account trail running, and I'll be demonstrating those today on a Fenix 6 Sapphire. And really quick, before we get into those new features, if you are finding this video useful and informative, make sure to hit that like button down below as it helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate it. One drawback to the previous Vo2 Max measurement for running was that it was generally only applicable for road running, so if you did a trail run and still use the normal run profile where it still calculated your Vo2 Max, well, your Vo2 Max figure will generally be really thrown off because you're going to be running on hilly terrain and you'll generally be running a little bit slower than if you're running on flatter terrain. But that changes today with the Enduro with the new Trail Run Vo2 Max, which adjusts Vo2 Max automatically based on the trail conditions. And how this works is that it leverages the accelerometer with a lot of other data to determine if you're working much harder to maintain your pace. But not only that, the Vo2 Max measurement will take into account heat and altitude, which also can make a big impact. Now, this won't be a separate trail running Vo2 Max value like what you currently see on a Fenix 6 where it separates out your running Vo2 Max from your cycling Vo2 Max. Rather, the trail running Vo2 Max just feeds into your overall Vo2 Max calculation, just so that trail runs can actually be accounted for. I'm really curious about this feature and I want to test this feature really in depth just to see if my value is going to go up or down with a lot of trail runs. My guess is it's going to go down. Now, what is nice is that you can go ahead and turn off the Vo2 Max for trail running if you'd like to, so it's not like you have to have it enabled. And really good news for you Fenix 6, Forerunner 945, Forerunner 745, as well as Forerunner 245 owners is that the Trail Run Vo2 Max value will be being ported to your device with future updates. And there's also a new UltraRun activity profile, and this is similar to the Trail Run profile, but with the UltraRun profile, you now have the ability to enable a rest timer, which can be super handy. So when you press the lap key, what it does now is start a rest period where you'll be able to see your rest time along with your total time. It's basically as simple as that, and the UltraRun profile will also be available with the Fenix 6, Forerunner 945, as well as Forerunner 745 with some future firmware updates. So next up are the ClimbPro enhancements. So ClimbPro is probably arguably one of my favorite Garmin features because it gives me a good indication of all my upcoming climbs as well as how much effort I can put into a particular climb during a ride or a run. But now Garmin is also adding the ability to see descents and flats when you have ClimbPro enabled. So what you'll see now are not only the climbs, but also the descents, which can give you a good indication of how much distance a particular descent may be during your activity. But not only that, there's also new alerts that you can set up giving you a notification of your upcoming climb. So what you'll have now in your ClimbPro settings is the ability to set an alert at the start of a climb or an alert to go off before the climb at a certain distance. And this works just like you'd think, where a beep goes off either at the start or at the predefined distance before the climb. So that's everything new with the Enduro, as well as the new UltraRun activity profile, the ClimbPro enhancements, as well as the trail run Vo2 Max values. But make sure to subscribe to get a notification when the next video on the Enduro comes out, which is going to be really soon. And if you did like this video, make sure to hit that like button down below. In the meantime, have fun out there, and we will see you in the next video really soon.